My parents paid for my brother's master's degree but said I had to earn my own way. So I did, and now I make triple what he does. Help us keep the stories alive. Subscribe today. And please share your location in the comments. It makes our audience feel like one big family. I was 21, standing in our kitchen in Detroit, watching Mama count out $15,000 in cashier's checks. My hands were shaking as I held my acceptance letter to Howard University's graduate program in computer science. This was it. My shot at something bigger than our neighborhood, bigger than the doubts everyone had about me. Mama, please. Just look at the financial aid package. I only need $12,000 for the first year and I can work. She didn't even glance up. Deshaun needs this money for his final year at Columbia, Keisha. You know how important his MBA is. He's going to run his own firm someday. My brother walked in then, 25 and smirking like he always did when the spotlight was on him. What's this about? Keisha begging again. He grabbed an apple from the counter, took a bite. Mama, you already told her. She needs to learn independence. I had to earn my way too. The lie burned through my chest like acid. You had to earn your way? Mama and Daddy paid $48,000 for your MBA. I was there when you picked up the checks. Deshaun's eyes went cold. That was different. I had better grades, better prospects. You barely scraped by at Michigan State with your little computer degree. My little degree got me a job offer at IBM for $65,000 a year. Daddy walked in from the garage, wiping oil from his hands. 23 years at the Ford plant had bent his back but never his pride in Deshaun. What's all this noise about? Nothing, Mama said quickly, sliding the checks toward Deshaun. Just Keisha wanting things handed to her again. That night I couldn't sleep. The rejection sat heavy in my stomach like spoiled food. I crept downstairs around 2 a.m. for water and heard voices in Daddy's study. The door was cracked open, light spilling into the hallway. I froze when I heard my name. Can't keep treating her like this, Luke. That was Aunt Lorraine, Daddy's older sister. She'd driven up from Columbus unannounced. That girl has done everything right. Better grades than Deshaun in undergrad, no trouble, works 2 jobs while taking classes. And you're just... She's not Deshaun, Daddy cut her off. His voice was cold, final. She's not going to carry this family forward. Because she's a girl? Aunt Lorraine's voice rose. Because she doesn't kiss your behind like your precious son does? Watch yourself, Lorraine. No, Luke, you watch yourself. I know what this is really about. You're still punishing her for what happened with Jerome, and that's sick. She was 17. She made one mistake. My breath caught. Jerome Patterson. The name alone made my skin crawl. I gripped the wall, memories flooding back. Senior year of high school. The boy everyone thought was perfect. The night he tried to force himself on me at a party. The police report I filed. The way he lied and said I'd led him on. The way his parents, pillars of our church, convinced half the congregation I was fast. Trouble. A girl who'd ruin a good boy's future. Daddy had believed them. That situation cost us respect in this community, Daddy said now, his voice hard as granite. People still talk. Deshaun had to work twice as hard to overcome the stigma of having a sister with that kind of reputation. I pressed my hand over my mouth to keep from screaming. For years I'd been carrying the weight of their disappointment, thinking maybe if I was perfect enough, smart enough, quiet enough, they'd love me again. But this was different. This was punishment. Systematic. Deliberate. Luke, Jerome Patterson is in prison now for assaulting 3 other girls, Aunt Lorraine said. Her voice was shaking with fury. He pleaded guilty. Everyone knows Keisha was telling the truth. But you're too proud to admit you failed your daughter when she needed you most. So instead you let Deshaun drain you dry while Keisha starves for scraps. Do you even hear yourself? My son is going to be successful. He's going to make something of this family name. Restore what was lost. By throwing away your daughter? He's brilliant. That girl taught herself programming at 14. He's already got job offers. She's already surpassed Deshawn and you know it. That's what really bothers you, isn't it? She didn't need you as much as he does. She didn't stroke your ego. Silence. Heavy and suffocating. Then Daddy spoke, each word a nail in my coffin. Keisha will be fine. Girls like her always land on their feet. Deshawn needs structure. Guidance. Investment. She needs to learn that nothing comes easy, especially not after shaming us like she did. This conversation is over. I heard Aunt Lorraine stand up. You're making a mistake you'll regret, brother. And when Keisha walks out that door and never comes back, don't you dare act surprised. She found me in the hallway, tears streaming down my face. Without a word, she pulled me into her arms. 3 weeks later, I was working my shift at Red Lobster when Deshawn walked in with his girlfriend Amber Patterson. She was beautiful. Harvard law, family money, everything my parents had prayed their son would achieve. They sat in my section and I watched Deshawn's smirk grow wider as I approached their table. Well, my little sister, the waitress. How's that computer science degree working out for you, Keisha? Still planning on that pipe dream graduate school? Amber looked uncomfortable. Dang, come on. Don't be like that. What? I'm just asking. He leaned back in the booth, expensive watch glinting under the fluorescent lights. See, babe, this is what happens when you don't have discipline. When you make bad choices and expect everyone else to clean up your mess. Keisha here thought she could waltz into grad school on Mama and Daddy's dime, but they're smart. They know better than to waste money on someone who's not serious. My hands clenched around the notepad. For other servers were watching. Customers at nearby tables had gone quiet. My manager, Trevor, a black man in his 50s who'd been kind to me since I started, stood at the kitchen entrance, eyes sharp and assessing. Actually, Deshawn, I got accepted to Howard's graduate program with a partial scholarship. I just needed help with the gap. The same help you got. $48,000 worth of help, to be exact. His face flushed dark. That's different. How? Because you're the boy? The golden child who can do no wrong? Meanwhile, I worked full-time through undergrad, graduated with honors, and I'm still not good enough. Amber set down her menu, her expression shifting from uncomfortable to intensely focused. Wait. Your parents paid for Deshawn's entire MBA. She looked at my brother, something cold entering her eyes. You told me you had scholarship money and loans. You told me you earned your way through Columbia. Deshawn's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Babe, it's not. It's complicated. You also told me your parents treated you and your sister equally. That they believed in fairness. Amber's voice had dropped to that dangerous quiet lawyer's use before they destroy someone on the stand. How much did they give you, Deshawn? Exactly. 48,000, I said. My voice was steady now, rage burning away the tears. Plus they paid his undergrad at Duke. Another 160,000. He graduated debt-free while I took out 50,000 in loans. And when I asked them for $12,000 to finish my graduate degree, they told me I needed to learn independence. Trevor walked over, placed a hand on my shoulder. Keisha, take your break. No. Go out back and breathe. But I couldn't move. The dam had broken. You want to know why, Deshawn? Want to tell your girlfriend why our parents think you deserve everything while I deserve nothing? Shut up, Keisha. Because when I was 17, a boy tried to rape me at a party. I reported him. I told the truth. And his parents convinced everyone, including our parents, that I was lying. That I was trouble. A slut who'd ruin a good boy's future. And even after Jerome Patterson went to prison for assaulting 3 other girls, even after everyone knew I was telling the truth, Daddy still punished me. Still blamed me. Still decided I wasn't worth investing in. The restaurant had gone completely silent. Amber stood up abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. She looked at Deshawn with pure disgust. We're done. Don't call me. Don't text me. Lose my number. She turned to me, pulled out her wallet, and placed $500 bills on the table. For your graduate fund. You deserve better than this family. She walked out, heels clicking on the tile floor. Deshawn jumped up, face twisted with rage. Look what you did. You just cost me. I didn't cost you anything, I said quietly. You did this to yourself. By being exactly what Mama and Daddy raised you to be. Entitled. Selfish. A liar. He grabbed my wrist, squeezed hard enough to bruise. You're going to regret this. Trevor moved fast for a man his age. He pulled Deshawn's hand off me, bodily moved him toward the door. Get out. You're banned. If I see you here again, I'm calling the police. I stood there, shaking as other servers rushed over. My coworker, Jasmine, wrapped her arms around me. Girl, I knew your family was messed up, but this is beyond. That night, Aunt Lorraine called. Pack your things. I'm coming to get you tomorrow. You're moving to Columbus with me and your Uncle Ray. We have a spare room and you're going to finish that degree. I'm paying for it. All of it. Aunt Lorraine, I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. And before you argue, know this. I've been saving money for years, waiting for the day I could step in and fix what my brother broke. That day is today. Pack your bags, baby. You're done being their scapegoat. I sobbed into the phone. Real, ugly, gasping sobs that shook my whole body. Moving out was surgical. I waited until Mama and Daddy were at Deshawn's apartment, celebrating some networking event he'd secured, and I took only what was mine. Clothes, books, the acceptance letter to Howard. Photos of me with Aunt Lorraine, Uncle Ray, and my late grandmother. Nothing else. I left a note on the kitchen table. I'm done begging for crumbs from people who should have protected me. Don't contact me unless you're ready to apologize for everything. Keisha. Aunt Lorraine arrived with Uncle Ray in a rental truck. They loaded my life into boxes in under 2 hours. As we pulled away from the house I'd grown up in, Uncle Ray caught my eye in the rearview mirror. Your daddy called me last week, he said. His voice was measured, careful. Asked me to talk sense into Lorraine. Said she was poisoning you against the family. You know what I told him? I shook my head. I told him I raised my 3 daughters to know their worth. To expect equal treatment. To demand respect. And if he couldn't do the same for his own child, then he deserved to lose her. He smiled, warm and sad. You're going to be fine, Keisha. Better than fine. You're going to be extraordinary. And they're going to spend the rest of their lives regretting this. The Columbus apartment was small but clean. 3 bedrooms, a kitchen that smelled like Aunt Lorraine's cooking, and walls covered in family photos. My cousins, Tanisha, Nicole, and Yvette, had all gone to college on a mix of scholarships, parental support, and loans. Equally distributed. Fairly managed. This is what family looks like, Aunt Lorraine said, showing me my new room. Love without conditions. Support without punishment. You've been living in a prison, baby. Now you're free. Howard's graduate program was brutal in the best way. I threw myself into algorithms, machine learning, data structures. My professors noticed immediately. The hunger, the precision, the way I absorbed information like I'd been starved for it my whole life. Dr. Patricia Moore, my advisor, pulled me aside after my first month. She was a legend in computer science, MIT PhD, Black woman who'd broken every ceiling in tech. You code like someone with something to prove. It's good. Channel it. But don't let rage be your only fuel. What else is there? I asked. Excellence for its own sake. Success as the best revenge. She smiled. I know your story, Keisha. Your aunt and I go way back. He told me what you survived. What you're still surviving. So let me tell you something I learned. The people who counted you out are waiting for you to fail. Waiting to say, see? We were right about her. Don't give them the satisfaction. I worked. Got how I worked. 18-hour days. Weekends at the lab. I built programs that caught the attention of tech recruiters. I published papers. I networked with a vengeance, attending every conference, every mixer, every opportunity to prove I belonged in rooms my family said I'd never reach. And I didn't contact my parents once. Mama called every few weeks at first. Voicemails that started angry, "How dare you embarrass us like this?" Then shifted to confused, "We don't understand why you're being so dramatic," and finally landed on desperate, "Please, Keisha, just talk to us." I deleted them all without listening past the first few seconds. Deshawn sent texts, "You ruined my relationship. Daddy had a heart attack scare because of your selfishness. When are you going to grow up and stop playing victim?" I blocked his number. Graduation from Howard came 18 months later. I finished my master's in record time, graduated top of my class, and had job offers from Google, Microsoft, and a promising startup called DataSync Technologies out of Silicon Valley. The startup offered $135,000 base salary, plus equity, plus signing bonus. I took it without hesitation. At 23 years old, I was making more money than Deshawn had ever seen. Aunt Lorraine threw me a graduation party. Uncle Ray grilled. My cousins flew in from around the country. Dr. Moore came with a bottle of expensive champagne and a recommendation letter that would open any door I wanted. Trevor from Red Lobster showed up with Jasmine and half the restaurant staff, all of them cheering and crying and hugging me like I'd won the Olympics. My parents weren't invited. I didn't even tell them I was graduating. But Detroit is a small world and church gossip travels fast. Someone, probably one of Mama's bridge club friends, saw the photos on social media. Saw me in my cap and gown, saw Dr. Moore's congratulatory post on LinkedIn, saw the celebration I'd built with people who actually loved me. 3 days after graduation, as I was packing for my move to San Francisco, Daddy called. I stared at the phone for a full minute before answering. "Keisha." His voice sounded older, friendlier. "We need to talk." "No, we don't. Please. Just listen. We heard about your graduation. About your job. We're proud of you, baby girl. We want to celebrate with you." The laugh that came out of me was bitter as burned coffee. "Proud? You want to celebrate? Where were you when I was working 2 jobs to pay for undergrad? Where were you when I was crying in Aunt Lorraine's kitchen, trying to figure out how to afford textbooks?" Daddy's silence stretched long and uncomfortable. "Then, we made mistakes. I see that now. Your mama and we want to make things right. Deshawn's been struggling. The job market for MBAs is tough right now. He's applying to positions but nothing's clicked yet. He's back home with us and let me guess. He's having a hard time, so now you remember you have a daughter." The rage I'd been holding back for 2 years exploded. "Now that your golden child is failing, you want to parade me around? Show everyone that both your kids turned out successful. That's not fair, Keisha." "Fair? You want to talk about fair?" I was pacing now, phone pressed so hard against my ear it hurt. "Let me tell you what's fair, Daddy. Fair is when a father believes his daughter when she says she was assaulted. Fair is when parents invest equally in both their children. Fair is when you don't punish a girl for 4 years because you're too proud to admit you were wrong. Don't you dare talk to me about fair." Mama grabbed the phone. I could hear her breathing, sharp and quick. "Keisha Marie Washington, you listened to me. We raised you. We fed you, clothed you, gave you a roof over your head. You owe us respect. You owe us. I owe you nothing. Less than nothing. You know what I learned from you? What not to do. How not to treat people I claim to love. Thanks for the lesson, Mama. It's worth more than the 48,000 you gave Deshawn. I hung up. My hands were shaking. Aunt Lorraine appeared in the doorway, worry creasing her face. You okay, baby? I will be. Soon as I'm 3,000 miles away from them. She nodded slowly. They're going to keep trying. Desperation makes people bold. He was right. San Francisco embraced me like a long-lost child. DataSync Technologies was everything I'd dreamed of. Brilliant people, impossible problems, unlimited resources to solve them. I thrived in the chaos, the pressure, the constant push for innovation. Within 6 months, I'd developed an algorithm that streamlined our data processing by 40%. Within a year, I was promoted to senior engineer with a salary bump to $175,000. By year 2, I was team lead at $220,000 plus stock options that were appreciating faster than I could track. I bought a condo in Oakland. Sleek, modern, all windows and light. It was mine. No memories of shame or rejection staining the walls. Just clean space filled with my achievements. Framed degrees, awards from hackathons, photos of me with colleagues who'd become genuine friends. The tech world was brutal but honest. You were judged on your work, your innovation, your ability to solve problems nobody else could crack. Not on your past. Not on your family's reputation. Not on mistakes you'd made at 17. It was freedom. Then Deshawn found me on LinkedIn. The message came at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Keisha, I know we haven't talked in 3 years. I know I don't deserve a response. But I need help. I'm drowning in debt. MBA loans are killing me. No job offers. Living with Mama and Daddy, and they're barely making ends meet with Daddy's pension. You're doing so well. Could you loan me $20,000? I swear I'll pay you back. I stared at the message for hours. Studied his profile. He'd been unemployed for 14 months. His networking posts were desperate, pleading. Comments from former classmates had dwindled to nothing. The golden child had tarnished. I typed my response carefully. No. 1 word. That's all he deserved. 2 months later, I flew to Detroit for a tech conference. Major keynote speaker, panels about diversity in STEM, networking with venture capitalists. I didn't tell my family I was in town. Didn't plan to see them at all. But on the second day of the conference, as I was leaving the convention center, I heard a familiar voice. Keisha. Keisha, wait. Deshawn ran across the street, weaving through traffic. He'd lost weight. His suit, the expensive one Mama had bought him for interviews, hung loose on his frame. His eyes were bloodshot, hair unkempt. He looked like a man coming apart at the seams. Thank God. I've been sitting out here for 2 days waiting for you. I saw you were speaking at this conference. We need to talk. No, we don't. I kept walking toward my rideshare. He grabbed my arm. Please. Just 5 minutes. I'm begging you. Something in his voice made me stop. Not compassion. Curiosity. I wanted to hear what rock bottom sounded like from the boy who'd been handed everything. We sat at a coffee shop across the street. Deshawn ordered water. Couldn't afford coffee. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was wrong, he started. His voice cracked. About everything. The way I treated you. The things I said. I was arrogant. Entitled. Cruel. I thought because Mama and Daddy chose me because they invested in me, that meant I was better than you. That I deserved more. But I didn't deserve anything. I squandered it all. And now you want what? Forgiveness. Money. A job reference. I want you to know I'm sorry. I don't expect anything from you. I don't deserve anything from you. Tears rolled down his face. You were right. About all of it. And I spent 3 years watching you succeed while I failed, and it wasn't jealousy I felt. It was shame. I studied my brother across that coffee shop table. 28 years old, broken by the same system that had tried to break me. But where I'd had Aunt Lorraine to catch me, he'd had only the pressure of expectations he could never meet. "I'm not giving you money, Deshawn," I said finally. "I'm not saving you from consequences. That's what Mama and Daddy did, and look where it got you. But I will give you something they never gave me: truth." He looked up, confused. "You're not worthless. You're not a failure. You're just someone who never learned to struggle. Never learned to fight. Everything was handed to you, so you never developed the muscles you needed to climb on your own." I leaned forward. "You want help. Real help. Then stop expecting rescue. Stop waiting for someone to fix your life. Get a job, any job. I don't care if it's restaurant work or retail or driving for Uber. Work. Build. Prove to yourself that you can earn something without Mama's checks or Daddy's connections. Keisha, I have an MBA from Columbia that you didn't earn and can't leverage. So what's it worth?" I stood up, dropped a 20 on the table for his water. "I make $350,000 a year now. Plus stock options that'll be worth millions when we go public. I earned every penny by doing exactly what they told me to do, earning my own way. You want what I have? Then do what I did. Suffer. Learn. Grow. Or don't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore." I walked out of that coffee shop and never looked back. 5 years later, I'm VP of Engineering at DataSync. We went public. My net worth is in the 8 figures. I bought Aunt Lorraine and Uncle Ray a house in Hilton Head. I mentor young Black women in tech, making sure nobody else has to beg for the opportunities one fought to create. My parents sent a card to my office last Christmas. Inside was a check for $12,000, the amount I'd asked for 7 years ago. The note read, "We're sorry. We were wrong. We hope someday you can forgive us." I framed the check. Never cashed it. It hangs in my home office as a reminder. I earned my own way. And it was worth everything. Deshawn. Last I heard, he's managing a small marketing firm in Ann Arbor. Married. 2 kids. He sends an email every year on my birthday. Just 3 words: "I'm still sorry." I never respond. Because some betrayals don't get redemption arcs. Some wounds don't heal with apologies. And sometimes the best revenge isn't forgiveness. It's success so magnificent, so undeniable, that the people who counted you out have to live every day knowing they bet on the wrong child. I didn't just earn my own way. I built an empire on the foundation of their rejection. And that's a legacy worth more than any inheritance they could have given me.